Welcome to Toffee TV. It is breaking news. Tyler Dibling has signed for Everton on a 4-year deal from Southampton. He is an Everton player contracted to be an Everton player till June 2029. He's become the 8th signing of the summer transfer window. Yeah, big move for Everton. Obviously, it's been muted since around the time Everton came back from America, or certainly like the final few days of being in America. And Everton have managed to get it over the line, obviously with a week left of the transfer window. The player himself has said, "I'm buzzing to sign. I felt the club already, even before I was in the building, just from social media and from people telling me about the club. I've never been so excited to play football. I'm just ready to get going. I think it's the perfect match because of where the club is right now. Obviously, with the new stadium, the fans here are unreal, and it's a family feel to it. I think it's a perfect fit. It's a no-brainer to join. I think I've come to Everton at the perfect time, and hopefully I can be here for many years. The Brighton win gave me a feel for the club. It looked unbelievable. I also played in the last men's game at Goodison. It was so loud. I was looking around and thinking, this is quality. That is really good insight for me into what it's like here with the fans and the atmosphere they can create. There's no better feeling than when you're doing well in football and you feel that love from the fans. Is one of the best feelings ever. I'm excited to play here. There you go. Interesting reveal by Everton. I think they've been quite clever. Obviously using the phone, because there was some videos of the player being on a FaceTime to some Everton players. Also, the way they done this, looks like Everton actually leaked the pictures before. If I was a betting man, I would say Everton leaked those pictures and have put those pictures out themselves, because if you look at the reveal video on social media, it's like he's being shot from around the ground in grainy videos. So either they were very quick to respond to the picture that was on social media, or they released the picture on social media. I would think it was probably the latter. And if they did, fair play to them. That's a cracking reveal, in very much in keeping with the times we live in, with so much hunger for social media, and obviously with maybe Everton poking fun at the leak situation. I'm not sure, but it's a good one if they have done that themselves. He also added, I think the manager is perfect for me. Obviously, he's helped so many players before who were in my position. I've spoken to him, and I know he's going to be good for me. There are so many players here to learn from, real quality, like Jack Grealish and Illiman and Jai. I'd say the wow factor in my game is my dribbling. That's what I'm best at, and that's what I want to excite the fans. And I'll hope to get to do it a lot. To do a lot of it. My aim for the season is just to play as many games as I can and help the team as much as I can with goals and assists as a team. Hopefully we can have a good season, see where it goes. David Moyes said, "We are really pleased to bring Tyler to Everton Football Club. He's a talented young English player with lots of potential. Tyler adds to our attacking options, and we will support him in the future developments. We are eager to build a team that Evertonians can enjoy watching and be proud of, and Tyler can help us achieve that." So yeah, really good signing, and obviously someone who can play on the right hand side, someone that looked very exciting last season, very exciting. Obviously, he's young, he's got lots to learn, but with the age of him and his profile, and as I said, he's similar in vein to what we've already got. I mean, that's 3 dribblers we've got now in the team. Someone who start on the right could then eventually end up playing central, and a player that hopefully we get to mould. And this is a player that Southampton, we're talking about early on, and summer's been £100 million player. He looked really exciting at times last season. I think as the season went on, I think he went off the boil a little bit as the physical demands of the Premier League became more and more apparent, and also because Southampton went further and further down and further, probably become less exciting. Not that they were ever exciting, but I think they started the season with that belief. And think we see Tyler Dibling get opportunities, and seeing him against Manchester United when he looked really, really good. I think he scored in that game. But what we've got is, and as he said, is we've got someone who can learn off players like Jack Grealish and Iliman and Jai. When he picks the ball up, he is very hard to shake off the ball. So for me, really hoping that we get to see him on Wednesday night. Actually, I really hope that he gets to start in that game. I think that would be a really ideal opportunity for him to play his first Everton game and to play at Hill Dickinson Stadium. I imagine he's been signed in time, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't take my word for it exactly. But I'm not 100% sure on the criteria. There used to be weird criteria, like you had to play a game in the league before you could play in the Carabao Cup. I don't know. I'm just saying that sometimes these weird things, but it'd be really great if he could play. But it's a really exciting, he's a really exciting prospect. And when you hear people talk about him, and I think Russell Martin spoke about him, but I've also heard people in the game who are scouts or people who've been watching him play, he is down as one of the most exciting talents in English football. And for Everton to get in there and get him is huge, because obviously, listen, David Moyes has spoken about how hard it is to get players to come to Everton from Europe because we're not in Europe. That's his belief. So to go and get a young talent is massive. And listen, it gives us another option. We suddenly look quite exciting in the forward positions. Just seeing Thierry Henry talking about Barry on Monday Night Football there, talking about his involvement in both goals. Sort of not even really talking too much about Jack Grealish or Iliman and Jai. He's talking about Barry's involvement, and obviously I imagine he's worked with him in the French setup, so obviously knows all about him and wanted to talk about him. So that's really exciting. How will it all work? Well, I imagine, well, number one, we don't have to play all of these players all at once. Let's remember that. We're a club that's never been blessed too often with having a squad. So not all of them have to play at once. Football now is a squad game. It is a game where all the subs are massively important, and we've been on the other end of that in the last year or so. I mean, you only have to go back to a year ago when we played Bournemouth, and how their subs. Leeds last week bringing 4 players off the bench. You know, that contributed to us losing momentum, I think, last Monday night. So having players who can come off the bench, being able to rotate, not having to play players injured is another really important thing as well. If players are not at their best, they don't have to start games. There's always fatigue. There's always wear and tear. So it's important to have. That's why it's really important to have squad players, depth, bringing players off the bench. We've already seen it. Started the season with our fullbacks. It's so important to have players, 2 quality players in every position. Now, the ideal situation might be that we have Iliman and Jai on the left, Dibling on the right, and Jack Grealish going through the middle. Then what does that do to midfield? Then you've got Idrissa Gana-Gueye, and then you've got Dewsbury Hall, but you've also got James Garner, you've also got Tiernan Mabunam, Harrison Armstrong. Does this mean he goes on loan? Because we've got more bodies in there now. That's not the worst thing in the world if Harrison Armstrong now goes on loan. But it is all about having a squad, and Everton will still be looking for a number 6 to boost that, because we don't really have a natural number 6. Everton will probably still be in the market for a centre forward. We definitely need a right back. Nathan Patterson could be leaving the football club, could be going on loan, obviously being linked with a move to Seville today on loan. If he goes, that could facilitate a move for a new right back, which I think we massively need. So if we could get a right back in, a number 6, and maybe a third centre forward in the remaining week, then that would be absolutely huge for the squad. That would allow maybe Chimiti to go on loan, Harrison Armstrong to go on loan. And it takes the pressure off. And suddenly you've got a squad then that has good footballers in it. A balance as well, which is the most important thing. A balance. That we have players who can play in the right positions. And that's all it comes down to. That's all these squads have. That challenge for Europe. They have players who are 2 or 3 players for, or certainly 2 players for every position. And suddenly you go from having a bench, maybe from last Monday night, where you've got 2 goalkeepers on it, a couple of younger players on who are never going to get on the pitch. Someone like Seamus Coleman, who's an aging player, to suddenly having 3 or 4 that could play, that can start games. And that is the most important thing, that there's players on the bench who could start. Because that lifts the level in training. Every training session then becomes a battle. Every training session. Then you've got Carlos Alcaraz, Dwight McNeil, Timur Abunam, possibly James Garner, all competing to get into the side. Beto or Barry, or if we bring another centre forward in, Michael Keane, Jake O'Brien, if Brantwaite's back, it gives opportunity. Asnu then is, trying to get into the side if he's ever fit. But if Everton could have 4 or 5 really talented subs, suddenly that changes the game completely. It suddenly changes everything. We know we're going to get injuries. We know we're going to get suspensions. But David Moyes' dream of getting 10 players in has suddenly got very, very much closer. And whether, if that means we have 3 loans, so be it. But, he said 10 players all in. And we're not that far away now from having that. I know we've brought a couple of goalkeepers in, but I think that's what he was referencing as well. And people said it couldn't be done. People said we wouldn't have the money. But we are nearly there. Obviously, there's no fee has been mentioned. It's an undisclosed fee. There's rumours that it's 35 million with 5 million add-ons. So, yeah. With yesterday's win and with this news, obviously things are looking a lot more healthier for us. So hopefully we can move on to Wednesday night, get a win there, enjoy that, and then it's on to Saturday at Wolves, where Wolves will be obviously fighting for that first win. But if we can go there and get a win, then suddenly things look a lot more promising going into the international window, and hopefully looking to bring in a couple more. As I said, that right back and I think that number 6 are massively important. I think the right back is definitely the next one, I imagine, if Patterson's going out, because it leaves us short. I don't think you can consider Seamus Coleman as, he's not going to start games, and I don't also see him as the backup to Jake O'Brien, but he could be the backup to somebody else as Jake O'Brien goes back to competing to be a centre back again. I think that showed yesterday when you don't have proper fullbacks. I think it showed yesterday. Not that Jake O'Brien can't do a really good job at right back, but I think it does show the difference when you have a proper right back playing there, and also someone who can get up and down the pitch, someone who can help, someone who can go outside the play. I think we've got wingers now who like to come inside. So fullback definitely a right back. And then we'll see what he does with the number 6, and we'll see what he does with the centre forward. We'll wait and see. I've got we've been linked, haven't we, with the young lad from Barcelona at the right back. I think we've been linked with someone at Seville as well. But we'll just wait and see. I think everyone knows what we want, and everyone will be throwing plays at us. So let's just hope that whoever they're going for, they're keeping under the radar, and we get it done. But what I would say on this one, from what I would say about this deal, is Everton have seemingly negotiated really well for this player. They've bided their time, and they've negotiated really well for him. Obviously, the player has wanted to come since day one, and Everton have just, to be honest, I was on Sky a couple of weeks ago now, wasn't it? I did think this was what was going to happen in terms of, I think teams, when they go down, they're very bullish. But I think once you get into the season and you get into the real season starts, people start getting itchy feet about wanting to be playing in the Premier League. This was always bound to happen, as long as the fee was a decent fee and it was a fair fee. I think when you look around, I think this is a fair fee if it is in the region of 35 million plus 5 million add-ons. I think that's a fair fee for what we're seeing at the moment in the market. The prices we're seeing in the market are, well, this is a player who's had Premier League experience. He was involved in, I think, 33 games last season in the Premier League. So he's had Premier League experience. He's a big lad, very talented, and he's young. And Everton get to be part of his development as well. He's not the finished article, so I think no one should think he is the finished article, because he's not. And we get to watch, hopefully, a player become, top draw, hopefully. So there you go. We'll be doing, obviously, more on this tomorrow. 1 o'clock, we'll be live at 1. So we'll be doing more on this tomorrow. I'm sure there's more details on the deal. I've just come straight live. All I've done is looked at Everton's statement. So I'm sure there's more information out there from lots of reliable journalists out there who'll be able to give you more of a picture right now than I can. But we'll have all the information tomorrow at 1 o'clock on YouTube. So make sure you join us for that. And thanks to everyone for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night. Don't watch that rubbish game that's on. And I'll see you later.